When you were talking about how calm, how collected one would have to be to execute, this murder spree the way he did, how would somebody being a sociopath factor in, right? Like, could a sociopath who is 22 have that same calmness that just a crazed killer might have at age 42?
Right. Well, first of all, sociopathy, a sociopath is a diagnosis. It's a psychological diagnosis. It's in the DSM, and you have to actually do tests to diagnose a person like that. Instead, in law enforcement, we do indirect personality assessments, and we talk about psychopathy instead. Psychopathy, the disorder that means somebody is a psychopath, is based on what Dr. Robert Hare put together. He put together the PCLR, the Psychopathy Checklist revised, which has 20 different aspects that make it up. And what you do is you rate someone a 0 if they don't have this trait, a 1 if they kind of had this trait, and a 2 if they definitely have this trait. And it's things like narcissism and getting in trouble when they're kids and things like that. Multiple marriages, a lot of problems in their life. But if you score more than 30, you're classified as a psychopath. If you score more than 20, a lot of people think you're probably there or almost there. But one of the most prevalent traits in psychopaths is a lack of human empathy. Now, what does that mean? What is empathy? It's our ability to put ourselves in other people's shoes and feel bad about them when they go through bad things. And it's one of the things that helps prevent us from hurting people and being violent. This is a sort of a survival mechanism that our brain puts in front of. It's sort of our frontal lobe. It's our policeman. It basically says, stop before you go too far. And many psychopaths have none of that at all. They are completely devoid of empathy, and many of them are completely devoid of human emotion. Now, the smart ones can see it in other people, and they can mimic it.
Learn to fake it.
Right. Fake it very well. And that's what they use to manipulate people.
Ted Bundy.
Ted Bundy is a great example. Also, I don't really love giving names of people that are bad. I work for the victims, not for the bad guys, but Vandersloot, the guy who killed Natalie Holloway, and also the daughter of a South American race car driver, and on the 5-year anniversary of killing Natalie Holloway.
Oh, that's right. I forgot he killed a second person. Totally forgot that until you mentioned it.
She had found out because she read something on the internet about him on the anniversary, and he ends up killing her. But what he does is he walks out of the hotel room with 2 empty coffee cups, goes and gets coffee, and comes back to, quote, discover her dead. Immediately after killing her, he recovers, comes up with a plan. If I go out and look and carry 2 cups, I can say, I thought she was still alive. She was alive when I left. And when I came back, I found her dead. He's immediately trying to build an alibi. Well, guess what? He didn't realize that there was a camera literally right outside his hotel room door, and nobody went in or out after he left. And so they were very easily able to break through that alibi. But the important thing is that psychopaths have the ability to recover quickly. They actually live for thrills, so they're exciting people to be around, for example. But in this case, we saw the fact that he was able to do this in a cold, calculated manner as not only confirming that he was probably going to be high on the psychopathy checklist, but also confirming that he had experience doing exactly this somewhere in his life.
We need that checklist posted in the show notes so that young women dating can just quietly drop these questions. Can't do it all at once, ladies. It's too on the nose. But, just like over the first date, you could maybe squeeze in 2. So second date, have like a friend show up and ask a few. There must be a way of peppering these if your instincts haven't served you well.
I would be a little cautious about it just because, people who haven't done this thousands of times can sort of misinterpret behavior. There's a lot of things that a lot of little traits or characteristics of psychological disorders, minor characteristics of them that we all have. But people can see those minor characteristics and think it means everything in the diagnostic category, and they could be wrong that way. Although we actually did a show for Audible, and
yes.
It's called
Am I Dating a Serial Killer?
Exactly.
I wanted to ask you about that.
And believe me, when some of it's kind of lighthearted and it's hosted by a comedian, so we try to get to the lighter side of it. But there was one case in particular where they called me in to interview this woman because I believe she was dating a psychopath. I believe that he was a very dangerous person, and in fact, he did end up killing someone. So
oh my God.
You should be incredibly careful when you meet somebody new, because especially somebody who is charming, charismatic, and energetic and has all these amazing stories, you should kind of dig down and meet their friends and their families. And if they say, well, I don't really talk to my families, big red flag. If they say, well, I don't have a lot of friends, big red flag. There are, if you look at, let's say the Tinder swindler, that guy. I mean, when he did his thing, he made women feel incredibly special. He flew them on a private jet. He did all these amazing things, all these gifts. He said his life was totally consumed by them. Well, it's all a very well planned out manipulation. And you have to be able to, as much as you're feeling great about it and it's amazing and it's exactly what you wanted, if it's real, it will survive you stepping back and taking some time and saying, okay, this is what we're going to do. We're going to slow this down. We're going to look into some things. We're going to take some time to actually get to know each other before we make all these amazing moves. And that will put a wrench in his plans because he needs you to go fast so that he can move on to the next one and the next one and the next one.
Maybe it's not so bad to be dating somebody who's a little dull. Maybe dull in the beginning is good because it sounds like they don't tend to project dull if they're trying to swindle you or woo you or
Probably
sort of
not.
just get you under their power. So yeah, okay, that's a good thing to look for. I mean, ideally hot but dull. So consider that, ladies. Inflation is at its highest level in 40 years. My gosh, it's bad. Interest rates are skyrocketing, and a recession may soon be officially upon us. Caught between runaway inflation and a recession, our retirement accounts may be in real danger. If you want to protect your future, call the precious metal dealers I trust, American Hartford Gold. They can show you how to protect your savings and retirement accounts by diversifying your portfolio with physical gold and silver. All it takes to get started is a short phone call, super easy, and they will have physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or inside your IRA or 401k. American Hartford Gold makes it easy for you. They are the highest rated firm in the country with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, and they have thousands of satisfied clients. Call them now and they will give you up to $1,500 of free silver on your first qualifying order. Call 866-518-2955. That's 866-518-2955 or text my name, Megyn, that's Megyn, to 65532. Again, call 866-518-2955 or text Megyn to 65532. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.